This is Daniel Young with Adapted Perspective. I recently made a TikTok video series, video 3.1, 3.2, and 3.3, and I'll try to link those somewhere in this comments. I reference a softball fast pitch machine. You can view that one of two ways. Regardless of how you respond, regardless of what you do, regardless of how well you do, if you miss all the time, that machine is going to keep firing. And swing all you want, crush it all you want, irregardless of what happens, the stress to perform weighs on you. And it doesn't matter what happens, that machine's going to fire. You can see it as random, like it's going to throw you a ball, a strike, it might try to hit you. And regardless of what happens, it's going to keep firing. And as a Christian, I have a hard time seeing it as random. So the other option is to see that machine targeting you. And it tends to target me when I have a lot of other stuff going on. So instead of just the softball machine, I see life almost like a vortex. So all the stuff you have going on, family issues, job issues, stress, anxiety, pain, doubt, fear, all of that swirls around, and it's there all the time. And whether you want to view it like a tornado or like a hurricane, the metaphor doesn't really matter. We talk about the storms of this life, and whether that's the center of a hurricane and right around the eye where the wind is the most severe, or whether that's a tornado, either will pick things up off the ground. So everything that storm crosses, everything it encounters becomes wrapped up in the vortex. So the big stuff, the 18-wheelers, the cars, the houses, the cows, the animals, the shrapnel, all of that continue to swirl regardless of what you have going on. And where the softball machine comes in is as all of that stuff swirls, that's when the machine seeks to target me, where it tests me or where it shoots straight at me. Because if it can get me distracted just a little bit, I fail. But as a Christian, there's a way that I don't have to feel the stress of life. And it's a hard thing to do. So in the midst of chaos, with all that stuff swirling around and that softball machine firing, and sometimes that softball bounces off and bounces away, sometimes it gets wrapped up in that vortex. But as all of that stuff comes at me, there's a way not to make it all go away, not to make it stop, where Neo picks out that really cool thing out of the Matrix. Not that. To where it still swirls and I can still see it, but I don't feel it. As a Christian, I can offload all my pain and my doubt and my fear and my worry and my anxiety. I can offload all of that onto Jesus Christ, and he'll bear all of that for me so that I can just walk and do the best that I can in life. And best that I can, meaning not that I crush it all the time, but I can walk anxiety-free through life to where I can stand in that vortex and walk in that vortex and know all the pain and all the fear and all the doubt is managed by somebody else. And I can walk and respond and react the way I need to react. I waited to film this video till my house was quiet, to where maybe you would still catch one of my hairless cats in the background, but to where my girls weren't adding to the noise. But I waited to film this video because I wanted you to see the backdrop. So this past summer, we invested a significant amount of money into our house. Just knowing the budget and knowing the numbers, we invested about $60,000 into our house to improve its function, improve how it looked, improve its value. And we spent a ton of money in a short amount of time and did a pretty darn good job remodeling our house. And at the end of that remodel, as we're looking at the punch list and crossing those things off, that happened. We had a water leak. So at a point in our piping system, we have copper pipes. Midline of that copper pipe, upstairs in the attic, we had a line leak. And thankfully, I checked upstairs in a part of the house that was finished for punch list items. I checked anyway. And thankfully, I noticed the paint on the door frame was peeling and the paint along the drywall was sagging, and looked at the bottom of the wall where the baseboard sits and saw water on the ground and went, surely there's no way. But yep, go in the attic, look at our hot water heater, and not in the hot water heater itself, but on one of those off copper lines, we had a water leak. So that water went through our attic into the upstairs bathroom, along the bathroom wall, into the floor, and into the kitchen of the ceiling. Our freshly redone, remodeled ceiling. That's frustrating. I mean, no doubt, no lie, that's frustrating. Like, we spend all this money just to have this happen. And I could let that weigh on me. And I could let the pain and the fear and the anxiety and the depression and all that stuff weigh on me. But I didn't, and I haven't. I don't know why things happen, but I know that everything happens for a reason. And God takes all the stuff, whether good or bad or indifferent, and He uses that to somehow improve my life. And I may never know what the reason is. These last 2 years of lockdowns and everything else we've been through have felt like just an ongoing test, like it's one thing after the next. Family drama, illness, health stuff, life, job changes, revelations surrounding my job. Most recently, the death of my mother-in-law. It's just one thing after the other. And I don't know why I know it feels like we're getting tested. I don't know why we're getting tested, other than something else is coming up where we're going to have to help somebody else through the death of a family, or help somebody else deal with stress, or even this video. I don't know God's plan, and I don't have to. I just know that when I'm presented with problems, or what we define as problems, when I'm presented with problems, all those things that could stress you out, and they want to get you distracted. Like, the big stuff is there. That vortex is there. But then you add in the softball machine, and it's all the little stuff that could get you distracted and could get you off course. Like, I have my focus, all my pain, all my fear, all my doubt is cast upon Christ. I'm looking at where I need to look at. I'm focusing on where I need to be. I can manage life. And then this happens. And that softball machine starts firing. And it's testing me. And it's testing you. And it's like the devil takes over that machine, and it's like, hey, I'm going to do this instead because I don't want you paying attention there. And it fires at me, and it fires at you. I don't know why we had a significant water leak. I know our response. We didn't want to spend the money, but we did. We spent the money, and we PEXed our house. We changed all the copper piping into PEX because it's a much better deal. Now, did we want to spend the money? No. Okay, but my option was more of that for the age of our copper piping, or deal with the small holes and patchwork from redoing PEX. Did I want to spend the money? No. Did I want another water leak? No. So as much as I didn't want to spend the money, much as we didn't want to spend the money, we chose PEX. So you can view everything that happens to you as random. You can. But I would encourage you to see it from a different view. That softball machine is going to fire. That vortex is still going to be there. You can choose, you can willingly choose to drown in the stress, or you can choose a different way. And if you want that different option, if you want the hope to walk stress-free, worry-free, everything is there, but at the same time it's managed and it's carried by somebody else who can bear it. If you want that kind of hope in this stress, in this just high stress, high intensity, worry-based culture we live in, if you want that freedom, then let me give you that freedom. There's hope to be had. You just got to know where to look. So if you want that kind of hope, then check the link and let me share with you a fuller explanation of that kind of hope. And you can experience the same kind of stress-free environment that I have. That was supposed to derail me. That was supposed to break us, and it didn't. Because my hope is in someone greater than me. My hope, my trust, my belief is in the reality of Jesus Christ, and that he is the Son of God, and that God loves me, and that God loves you. There is hope. I hope you let me share that with you, and I hope you click the link.